Hey there guys, what's going on? Gale here. Welcome back to the YouTube channel once again for another Persona 5X video, and today we are here to talk about re-rolling and what you should be aiming for in your re-roll. Now, of course, it's early days. We don't know the exact details on how we're going to be able to re-roll in-game, but I'm going to go over a brief description of what re-rolling is if you're brand new to the whole re-rolling side of things. Number two, how we're most likely going to be able to re-roll. Obviously, things will get updated, and I'll probably make a mini short talking about how we're going to be able to re-roll when the game drops, of course. And thirdly, in this video, we're going to be talking about the units that you should be aiming for when you're doing your re-rolls. Now, of course, if you guys go on to enjoy this video, remember to leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel for more content, and let me know in the comment section down below who are you guys planning on going for at the start of the game in your re-roll. Let me know in the comments. I'm curious to see what you guys have to say down below. Now, what is re-rolling? If you're brand new to re-rolling as a whole in the gacha gaming scene, you might be wondering, what the hell is that? What are we supposed to do in that sense? Re-rolling, simply put, is you basically restarting your account again and again and again until you get an ideal set of characters. It's as simple. It's as simple as that. You're basically trying to aim for the best start possible by obviously restarting your account again and again and again and continuously summoning on various different accounts until you manage to get, like, say for example, a couple of 5 stars or a couple of dupes in the 5-star you're looking to get, basically. So that is the idea of re-rolling. Is it recommended? Depending on how long it takes to re-roll. In certain games like Genshin and Honkai Star Rail, I usually just say it's not worth re-rolling whatsoever. And even in this game, I want to wait and see and, you know, figure out how long does it actually take to get to the gacha sequence, because that's the most important matter. From the start of the game, when you log in and do everything, to when you get to the first time you can summon, how long does it take you? Because if it takes you any longer than, in my opinion, 45 minutes to an hour, even half an hour, I'd say that's just a no-fly zone. Just stick with what you've got. But if you are dedicated enough and you want to still do it, you can still do it by all means. Now, when it comes to re-rolling on global and the JP side of things, right, with this game, it's two things that we have to consider. One is the Steam version of the game, and the other one is the mobile version of the game. Now, in all honesty, it's a very, very high chance, if not a super duper high chance, it's a 99.9% chance that we will not be able to reroll on Steam, because the idea of, basically, the whole idea of re-rolling is you're deleting your account and restarting afresh. The issue with the Steam account will be that because your account will be linked to your Steam ID, you're not going to be able to delete the account whatsoever unless they provide an option in game for you to be able to delete your account. That is, it's as simple as that. It's unlikely to happen. It's very, very rare nowadays for a Steam game to have that sort of mechanic in there, for a gacha game especially. So I don't see it happening. I don't think it's going to happen. Now, on the other side of the coin, you have mobile or emulators, technically, of course. And we're here on Pridwin because also I want to use their website, because I know a lot of people will be using their website. I want to mention some things that I would consider to do differently. That's why we're here. But they are also suggesting that mobile and emulator may be possible. It just depends on how they go about it, because there's 2 ways they could go about it, or 3 ways technically. One, you're immediately linked to an account and there's no way to, uninstall or anything of that sort, like delete the account and stuff. That's one option, but I think that's going to be very unlikely. I want to just mention it, but not kind of delve into it, because I think it's unlikely. The other 2 options is that they ask you for your email ID and password and you go straight in, kind of Genshin or Honkai Star Rail-esque. In that sort of situation, you're probably able to delete your account and restart, but you'll need fresh emails every single time. That is a little bit annoying, but not difficult to bypass. It's not difficult to bypass. The third option is it's as simple as you delete the account, you log in as a guest account, you delete the account, log in as a guest, delete the account, log in as a guest. Ideally, that third option would be the ideal scenario. It would be the ideal scenario. So that we're gonna have to wait and see. Like I said, we're gonna have to wait and see on how they go about it, but that is how you will be re-rolling in the game. Now, what are you going to be aiming for in your reroll? It's pretty simple, because what you're going to be aiming for in your reroll is two things most likely. One is your beginner's banner. If you guys aren't aware, this game does feature a beginner's banner, which allows you to do 5 multis at a discounted cost. So instead of using 10 pulls, you can do 8 pulls and you'll still get the full multi. Basically, it's super worth it in that sense. And of course, at the start of the game, basically from, you know, logging in and of course reaching level 10, as they say, the pre-registration rewards and everything, you will get 32 pulls, which is effectively 4 multis on the beginner's banner. You will only need 1 more multi to be able to basically get all the rewards. However, just keep in mind, I would not advise using your gems or your premium currency to use on the standard banner, albeit it may be something you might want to do just in case you get a really good start. Let's say you get in that 4 multis, right? The thing is, right, the beginner's banner allows you to get a 5-star guaranteed before you reach the end of the 5 multis. At the end of the 5 multis, you have an option between Morgana, Ryuji, and An. You can choose between one of the 3 characters that you want. But the more important thing is, and the more significant thing is, what do you get leading into the banner? You know, leading into the banner's end, right? What do you get? Now, this is where the re-rolling side of things comes into play. So you do your 4 multis, right? They've given you 4 multis. You do the 4 multis. What do you aim for and what do you target, basically, right? That is where your decision comes into play, and this is where I will make some recommendations as well. So in those 4 multis, obviously getting an additional 5-star will be the most important thing. That is going to be the most important thing. The moment you get 0 5-stars, that is when you consider you might want to re-roll, right? That is the crux of the issue, and crux of the matter is that is when you consider maybe we should you know, restart the game, basically. Again, depending on how long the reroll takes is what I would recommend. I wouldn't say that you should do it immediately or like, oh, I want to do it. See how long it takes and figure out whether or not the time investment is worth it. You know what I mean? You don't want to stick around and do like an hour-long reroll every single day. What some people do, and this is an option, is that they set up like 4 or 5 different like mirrored emulators and keep re-rolling on different screens, basically. But again, that is just so much effort that I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, to be quite honest. For me personally, I just don't think it's worth it in this modern day, to be honest. It's just not worth it. Now, Pridwin recommends getting an additional on Takamaki along with getting her from the selector. This is where I kind of disagree, to be quite honest. Like, don't get me wrong, I think picking up on in the 50-50 is not a bad idea. Absolutely not a bad idea. However, what I would personally recommend is probably picking up Morgana, assuming, and this is assuming, that Seiji Shiratori is going to be on Joker's banner as a raid up. We know we're all going to be summoning on Joker's banner. I assume every one of us is going to be summoning on Joker's banner. So if you are going for Joker, you're probably going to get a couple of copies of Seiji. Not guaranteed, but there's a very good chance you might get a couple of copies of Seiji Shiratori. So in that sort of situation, you're already going to have an additional DPS unit along with Joker, right? So obviously the idea and the reason why I'm recommending Morgana is that basically if you get Seiji and you get Joker, and then you have obviously Lufel and Morgana, you basically have 2 teams ready to go basically for the end game content. You have one with Joker and Morgana, or Joker and Lufel, and on the other side you have Seiji and Morgana, right? You've got 2 teams going for you right there and then, basically, along with whatever else you can get in terms of the support side of things, buffer or debuffer side of things. Keep that in mind, right? So that is where I would personally maybe recommend Morgana a little bit more than on Takamaki. And the other reason why I think that is also fine to do is because you do have a special thing called Lufel's Business Plan Guide. Lufel's Business Plan Guide is basically a starter mission sort of thing, basically. Big shout outs to these guys, by the way, for creating this amazing stuff. I will be linking it down in the description down below. We'll be making a separate video going over these missions and stuff like that as well. Big shout outs to them. But basically, you have to do certain missions like reaching a certain wonder level, doing a certain part of the story, having certain characters, personas, summons, so on and so forth, basically. Kairos or party members, basically. So you want to just reach all of these things, join a guild, and so on and so forth. Once you clear these missions, for example, you will be able to pick between Morgana, An, and Ryuji. So that is basically it. So you can get these characters at a later point. Yes, the missions take quite some time, as you can tell. Like, it takes a while, as you can see. But I think that if it's inevitable that you're gonna get on, I wouldn't stress too much about getting on immediately. I might most likely go for Morgana myself. I was thinking of going for on initially, but now I'm thinking of going for Morgana, because if I'm gonna get on at a later point thanks to the missions, there's no reason for me to worry about it too much. However, obviously leading into that 50-50 pick, if I do end up picking Morgana, what other 5-star should I be aiming for? And this is where I will agree with Pridwin on this, is that I would aim for either getting An or Yaoling Li. Now, they've said they want us to get A1 An. I wouldn't say that. Just getting A0 An will be still pretty darn useful. But Yaoling Li will be an amazing option, and that's who I would prioritize personally. In the endeavor to basically get the perfect start, I would personally go for Yaoling Li, Morgana, and then of course getting Joker along with the other the other 4 stars that are available on Joker's banner, because then you're gonna have a complete squad ready to go. You're gonna have Joker, Yaoling Li, Lufel on one team, and then if I'm not mistaken, I need to just check the Joker banner if possible. Let me check the JP version, because I think we have it here. Yeah, so you obviously have Lufel, Seiji, and what's her name again? I completely forgot her name. It's this girl, Moko. She's not great, but she's an option at least for the time being for the support side of things, and she can be on the 3rd team with like An, for example. You know what I mean? Or Seiji, for example. You can have Seiji, Morgana, and Mocha on the other side, and then on the left hand side you have Joker, Yaoling Li, and Lufel. That, I think, would be an amazing start to have. That would be the ideal start for most players, in my personal opinion. So, of course, that is the reroll side of things. It's a very straightforward thing, what you're going to be aiming for. For me, personally, I think it makes a lot of sense going for Morgana. Honestly, now that I'm looking at it, I was initially thinking, like I said, going for An, but honestly, yeah, I think I'm gonna change my mind, and I think I'm gonna be going for Morgana myself as well. But let me know what you guys are gonna be aiming for. Remember, at the end of the day, pull for what you like. At the end of the day, that's the most important thing. You know, these units will come and go. Inevitably, you're going to be able to summon for them. Again, like I said, you know, with this business plan and stuff, you're going to be able to get more copies of characters as well. You're going to be able to get free weapons for them as well, and so on and so forth. So just keep that in mind. You have plenty of options, plenty of options to go for. You know, in that sense, you have more than enough options in the business plan side. You have more than enough options in terms of the reroll targets as well. It's just a case of go for what you like. Go for what you like and enjoy playing the game. This, I'm just saying, in terms of the reroll guide, if you want to have the best start possible, you want to have the perfect start, this is what you want to go for. Morgana, Yaoling Li, and then from there, see how you go and fare on the Joker banner. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys for Panther's build guide later today. Until the next one, take it easy, everybody. Bye-bye.